Welcome to HB Reddit Stories. Today we will see stories of r/am I the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for telling my stepdaughter I don't want to watch any effing kids, and that includes yours? I have never wanted kids. I was forced to watch my younger siblings, 4 of them, until I left at the age of 16. I greatly dislike babysitting and never had my own children. Never have been comfortable around young kids after that. My husband has 3 children. I met and married him when his kids were in their 20s. I am not a mother figure to them at all, just their dad's wife. Overall, I got along well with the 3 adults. The problem started when my Kelly became pregnant. Everyone was excited for the first baby in the family. I made it clear I didn't want to babysit, and when grandkids were around, my husband was to be the main caretaker. My husband agreed. The first 2 years went great. My husband is an awesome grandpa and I am fine being the relative that brings toys and other fun stuff once in a while. Kelly has been pushing hard for me to take up a more traditional grandma role. Her mother-in-law isn't involved, she lives a few states over. Kelly has gotten in her head that I should be doing the babysitting instead of her father. We have talked to her multiple times. My husband is on a work trip and will be back next week. Usually he babysits on Monday, but he informed her that he won't be there, so it was cancelled. She stopped over and was dropping her kids off. I asked what she was doing since her dad wasn't here. She told me that I need to step up and babysit. That she doesn't care if her dad isn't here, I am present. I told her no. This went in circles for a bit and got more heated the longer we went. I told her I don't want to watch any fixing kids, and that includes yours. She is pissed. My husband is fine with what I did, but his other children are on his butt. So am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole, and who TF just drops off kids as if they're entitled to babysitting? You need to step up. No. Babysitting is a favor and she's not entitled to it. Especially when she has been told no. Your husband needs to have a long conversation with his daughter about her attitude, because the only ones that have to step up are the parents of the children. Anyone else is doing them a favor. Not the a-hole. Where is her own mother in this? Her husband? Her other in-laws? Not the a-hole. You have firm boundaries and everyone understood what those were. Glad your husband is on your side. Stepdaughter is outside her mind for thinking that you should be more of a traditional grandma, when you weren't/aren't a mother figure to her. Moreover, asking someone who has made it clear they will not babysit to babysit is just lunacy. I can't imagine being a parent and willingly leaving my kids with someone who isn't willing to devote time and attention to them. It's not a safe environment, and more to the point, you shouldn't be put in the position of having to care for kids when you're not in the best place to do so. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my younger half-sister have the something borrowed that she asked for? My younger half-sister Leah, 19F, is getting married. Our dad and her mom are paying for the wedding, and this will come in a bit later. I, 27F, was asked by Leah if she could borrow a necklace I wore on my wedding day, that was my mom's before me, which she wore to her wedding to my dad. This was a sore topic. Even though my mom had wanted all of her jewelry to go to me, Dad had given Leah a few things when she was a child. He told me I had no say in the matter, and he loved my mom and wanted both his daughters to have pieces of her, even though Leah is not my mom's child. I still dislike that she has some of my mom's jewelry. But I know Dad has built her up to see it as something sweet. So when she asked me to borrow the necklace I wore on my wedding day and Mom wore on hers, it stung again. I told her she could not borrow that, but I offered to let her borrow some of my jewelry. Stuff that isn't connected to my mom. Leah told me that wasn't fair, and she wanted to get married matching me on my wedding day in some way. She asked if I'd feel differently if Dad and her mom weren't paying for it. She told me she knows I don't like her parents and she doesn't think I should take it out on her. I said no, it's not that, it's that I don't want to share my mom's jewelry with her. That I never wanted her to have some of my mom's stuff. That was all, Dad. And I wasn't giving her another piece even just for one day. She accused me of gatekeeping my mom. She told me she had just as much right to it as I did. I asked her why when she has her own mom. She told me because everyone knows Dad only ever loved my mom and her mom is less than second best. And clearly sharing something from my mom means he loves her, Leah, as an actual daughter despite him not loving her mom. That she wants to feel like I love her as a true sister and not some half thing that I wish didn't exist. She told me letting her borrow the necklace can show that. I still said no. Am I the a-hole? Top commensanta. The obvious, it's your property. You have every right to say no for any reason you like. She's a jerk for pressing the matter when your answer was no. Secondly, it's so weird that she wants a piece of jewelry owned by the only woman her dad loved. That's like saying, well, if dad didn't love her, neither did I. Opie replies. It is weird, but I think it comes down to the way dad has treated the topic of my mom with Leah, and it has caused a lot of messy crap between us, but just in general with her because she knows he still loves her and always will and doesn't feel that way about her mom. Not the a-hole. Leah is using some twisted logic to try to get to you. Does her mom know about this BS? Did she put her up to it? Anywho, my thought is if she borrows that necklace you never see it again. You know, as further proof you love her like a true sister or whatever story she comes up with next. Her and her mom need therapy if it's true. Not the a-hole. It sounds like Leah didn't hear the word no enough when she was growing up. She doesn't have the right to your stuff. And she doesn't have a right to your mom. You have your mom's jewelry because you no longer have your mom. She still has her mom, so she can stop whining about how unfair it is that you won't share your mementos with her. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not making a bigger deal out of my half-sister celebrating the end of my parents' marriage? My parents announced 2 months ago that they're getting divorced. I, 16F, did kinda see it coming, but it still makes me sad. My half-sister, 25F, has been celebrating ever since she heard. She cheered when our dad told her. She has gloated in my mom's and my faces. She told mom she can forget about being a part of her life or going to her wedding now. Half-sister is engaged. My half-sister always hated that dad remarried after her mom died, when she was 5, and she said she never wanted to have my mom or me around. She was always praying for the end of the marriage. She used to try and break them up in the past. Dad would get so mad and frustrated with her, but she never let the dream die, and now her dream has come true. The last time mom or I saw my half-sister was when dad was moving out. She stopped by briefly and she gloated so hard. This was also when she told mom she was no longer invited to the wedding and no longer going to be a part of her life. My mom was upset. Despite my half-sister's dislike of her and constant disrespect, my mom loves her and she's sad to see it all end before they had a chance to be even friends. Though my mom always wanted to be family to my half-sister. My maternal aunt saw my sister had posted on social media a party she threw, and it turned out she was celebrating the divorce. My parents were upset. I could shrug it off because I knew she'd be so happy about this, and her celebration does not surprise me at all. But my parents asked me why I'm so calm and collected about this. I told them I expected her reaction and I always knew she wanted this badly. They said they would expect me to be upset. I told them maybe if I expected different from her, but I didn't. I pointed out that everyone in her comments knew too. There were loads about how she always called it and how glad they were she got this win. To me it's so dumb. My aunt confronted me afterward and told me I should be making a bigger deal out of it because it looks like I don't care about the weird and over-the-top reaction from my half-sister. She said mom must feel like I don't care about her heartache at all. That it's rough to see a child she loved and helped raise cheer on the fact she's getting divorced from dad. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole, your aunt is dead wrong. What your stepsister is doing is very trashy, as is putting personal things on social media. I'm sure that your mother would not want you to do this. Always keep it classy. Opie replies. My mom would not want me fighting on social media or sharing stuff like this. Neither would my dad. They would still like me to react more, but I was so expecting this that it would be fake if I did. Not the a-hole. Your sister is hurting you and both your parents with her lack of empathy. And to be frank, it doesn't sound like you're happy she's celebrating the end of your parents' marriage. You're just acting very maturely in the face of her childishness, and even said so to your parents. Your aunt seems to think that you reacting aggressively, while legitimate, your sister sounds immature, would make things better, while this might not necessarily be the case and it might even cause more stress in an already stressful situation. Opie replies. She wants to hurt me and Mom at least. I don't think she wants to hurt Dad, I think she wants him to see this as a good thing. But she enjoys knowing it hurts me and Mom. Next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving my smashed cake on the ground? So today after work, I, F16, was preparing a cake for my, F12, sister. I spent hours preparing everything, the color was perfect, red velvet, the texture was soft and nicely risen. Sadly my mum walked in and while in a rush to tidy the kitchen. Side note, she's constantly frantically tidying, my family speculates she has OCD. I have a similar feeling, I don't think OCD, but it's more related to germs than tidiness. When she's sorting the fridge out she accidentally dropped my cake on floor. I froze kind of waiting for her reaction, as in that moment it determined mine in a way. I hoped maybe she'd say sorry or something, instead she started shouting about how I'm stupid and careless, and called my other 3 siblings stupid, I have no idea why. I kind of lost it, and ran to the bathroom to cry, it's so dumb and childish, I haven't done that in years lol but it felt good. While I was there my mum continued shouting from the kitchen. When my 2 older siblings went to try and explain to her a different perspective, she said it was my fault for causing her to make the mistake. When pressed harder she yelled, so is this my fault, and I felt guilty here because her voice cracked slightly with some emotion. And then she was shouting her I'm lucky it was her who made the mistake cause anyone else would have left the mess. I know she'll never apologize and sadly that's all I wanted so bad. But she's never said sorry to me my whole 16 years of life. I feel like the a-hole for just abandoning the situation and leaving my cake. She was gonna go to her room to sleep but had to tidy up by herself instead, maybe that's why she was more angry. Am I the a-hole for leaving my dropped cake on the floor? Top comments. Your post has brought flashbacks of my own childhood. My father was 100% like this. I just remembered something that happened when I was 16 and I know you will relate. Someone had gifted me a really cute umbrella that had pictures of something I was into printed on the outside. My father grabbed it to use to get the mail and he shoved it too hard and it flipped inside out and he then started screaming at me that this was my fault for buying a cheaply made umbrella and he hoped I was happy that he got wet. Okay. Not the a-hole and you will survive. I ended up gray rocking my father, which was incredibly helpful. If you have time, I suggest you Google that and the techniques that come with it. Opie replies. Yes, I relate so much, they make you at fault instead. It's the most exhausting thing. And I really don't want to gray rock even though I feel like that's my ultimate solution as me and my mum do have good moments in the midst of other bad moments. Not the a-hole. It's 100% her fault. She owes you a replacement cake. Next story. Am I the a-hole for choosing my career over my brother's kids? For context, I, 28F, have a brother, 25M, and he and his wife, 25F, had twin boys about a year ago. The twins were unexpected but even so, I would say they transitioned relatively smoothly into parenthood. My brother and his wife were both able to take time away from work to raise the twins. While my sister-in-law was able to stay home, my brother had to return to work since they weren't expecting 2 babies. This and the fact that my sister-in-law wasn't working led to her eventually going back to work early as well, which left them the issue of childcare. My brother and sister-in-law both work hard and money was really tight for them, so they asked if I could take care of the babies a few days per week so they could cut down on costs. I am fortunate enough to work from home most days and live alone, so I agreed because it felt like it was something I could do for them and bond with the babies. We have had this arrangement going on since my brother and sister-in-law returned to work and it was fine at first. Work was relatively slow and I was happy to spend time with my nephews. However, taking care of them has created a strain not only on myself but my bank account as well, since they are growing. My brother and sister-in-law often work late, meaning I am feeding them dinner and taking care of them well into the evening. I haven't put up much of a fuss and I haven't been charging them because of their financial situation. However, work has progressively been getting more busy and has started to take more attention from me. I was also recently offered a higher position in the company, but it would require me to work fully in person. Today, While I was with my brother, I told him about my promotion and that I would not be able to take care of the twins anymore. He freaked out and called me a terrible sister, saying that I was abandoning my family. I wasn't really able to explain myself further because he left in a hurry, all angry. A couple hours ago, I received some really nasty messages from my sister-in-law and my parents, saying that I am extremely selfish, disgusting and shameful for choosing work over family. My parents aren't able to help, as they live on the other side of the country and are not mobile. I know if I stop helping with childcare, my brother's family will suffer, so now I'm rethinking my decision. Top comments. Not the a-hole one bit. And I haven't been charging them because of their financial situation. So you did this for free out of goodwill and wanting to help. And it also cost you money. And to your own growing detriment. Then you got a life-enhancing opportunity with your promotion. Congratulations. I received some really nasty messages from my sister-in-law and my parents, saying that I am extremely selfish, disgusting and shameful for choosing work over family. Yet both the parents have done that. And shown who they really are. My parents aren't able to help, as they live on the other side of the country and are not mobile. It's easy to look on from the sidelines and expect others to give up opportunities. Please don't rethink. Do what's right for you. Please don't. He's incredibly selfish and ungrateful. He's had free childcare and expected you to give up your life and dreams and future for his children. Those kids have two parents who decided to bring them into this world and are responsible for them. Not you. You've done them an enormous favor and they have decided to berate you and call you names. I'm disgusted with them. Please don't give up your promotion. Please don't let them browbeat you into being their slave labor. Not the a-hole. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel HB Reddit Stories.